Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain you about simple batch system. This is one of the type of operating system. Okay. Before knowing what is batch system, first we must know what is batch. So batch is nothing but set of jobs. Batch is nothing but what? Set of jobs. When jobs with similar needs are grouped together, it forms what? Batch. So the batch is what? Batch is nothing but set of jobs with similar needs are grouped together to form a batch. Okay, for example, there are number of jobs such as A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, and A, B, C require certain resources. You can say as resource number 1, or it can be printer. Okay, the job of A, B, C is what? To print certain data, and we have D, E, F. Okay, so this D, E and F requires memory. So this A, B, C are grouped into one batch, and we can name it as batch 1, and D, E, F we can group this into batch 2. So example of this kind of example of batch is nothing but, I'll give you a simple example. After completing 10th, you will go for PUC. So in PUC there are different streams such as science, commerce and arts. So students who opt for science, they will group into one batch, science batch, or you can name it as science batch. Here how we have named batch 1, here we will call it as science batch, commerce batch, arts batch. And one more example 2 can be, in one class there are certain students who will score above 60, so we will group them into first class. So this is one group, one batch. Okay, and then below 60, and we can call them as second class, and there can be fail, or above 60 there can be distinction. Okay, so like this, these are different batches. So I hope this is clear what is batch. Here there will be number of users, user 1, user 2, user 3 and so on, n number of user, and every user has certain operation to be performed. Every user needs CPU to perform certain jobs, job 1, job 2, job 3, so on up to job n. Okay, so what this user will do, they will not directly interact with the computer system, rather they will submit these jobs to operator. Operator is someone who will process the jobs and give the result back to the user. And what operator will do, operator will group these jobs with similar needs, job 1 and job 2. Okay, and these jobs forms what? Batch. And this batch will be submitted to computer system. Okay, and computer will process, CPU will process these jobs and give the result back to the user. Okay, there is a special program which manages the job. It is always in the main memory, and this special program is known as what? Monitor. Okay, we will see this in detail. Early computers were physically enormously large machines run from the console. So you know early computers were what? These were the large machines. Okay, so the common input devices were what? Card reader and tape drives. Now we have different input devices such as keyboard, mouse, and we can insert the data through pen drives, etc. There are many things. Okay, or touch screen is also a common input device nowadays. Okay, but before it was card readers and tape drives. Common output devices were what? Line printers, tape drives, or card punches. This card punches is nothing but they used to be holes on a card. Okay, a ray of beam will be light will be passed through these punches. The result will be in the form of binary. Now also the computer will take the data in the form of what? Binary, zeros and ones, and produce the output in the form of what? Binary. So this card punches used to what? Give the data in the form of what? Light beam used to be passed through these punches, and where the light used to pass, that is what? 1, and the empty slot will be what? Considered as 0, 0, 1, like this. Okay, the user of such system did not interact directly with the computer system. As I said before, the user did not directly interacted with the computer system. Rather, what they used to do is they used to prepare a job means what? The what task they wanted to accomplish. Okay, which consisted of the program in the sense the code, lines of code. Okay, the data and some control information about nature of the job. Okay, what exactly we have to do with this job, and submitted it to the computer operator. Now what is the duty of operator? The job would usually be in the form of punch cards. At some later time, it can be minutes, hours, or it may take days to produce the output. The output would appear. See this, I have already explained you how this works. Once again I will tell you. Jobs would be given by the user. User will give this job to operating system. These jobs with similar needs are grouped together and form the batches, and that would be submitted to CPU. So the output consisted of the program as well as dump of memory and register. Program in case of successful output, and in case of an error, the dump of memory would be given in case of what? Program errors. If there is an error, then some register and the dump of memory would be produced. Otherwise, the program consisted of output would be presented to the user. So we can summarize this what batch operating system as. I will write here. The programmer would leave their programs with the operator. Then the operator would sort programs into batches with similar requirements. And as the computer became available would run each batch, would run each batch. So this is how we summarize the batch operating system. Okay, so what is the advantage of batch operating system? Advantage is nothing but one is there is no direct interaction between user and computer. User will get the output directly, but this can be disadvantage as well. This is also used in payroll system. Payroll means in a company there will be different employees of different salary scales. So employee with higher salary scale will group into one. There will be different number of managers for each department, then engineers, junior engineers, like that. So each group of employees will be having different salary scale, so we can group them into different batches. Okay, so this kind of system will be used in payroll system and other systems. And disadvantage is lack of interaction between user and job. Okay, disadvantage can be lack of interaction between user and job. Okay, the job is prepared and submitted at some later time and the output appear. The delay between job submission and job completion. So this is known as what? Submission and completion. From here to here is known as what? Turnaround time, TAT. So in later topics you have this concept, turnaround time. You need to solve some problems on this. Okay, so you should remember this. What is turnaround time? It is nothing but when the process is submitted to the system till the completion of the process or the job, okay, is known as what? Turnaround time. So this delay is an disadvantage. Okay, so another disadvantage is in this execution environment, CPU is often what? Idle. CPU is idle. Why CPU is idle is the speed of this mechanical input output device, this peripheral input and output devices, is slow compared to CPU. Okay, speed of CPU is more than speed of input output devices. Okay, this lead to what? Delay, and CPU becomes idle when input data is being inserted into the system and being released from the output device. To overcome this disadvantage, we have a concept called spooling. So this spooling is nothing but spool stands for what? Simultaneous peripheral operation online. Okay, so here what happens, here CPU will be always idle, right? To overcome this, we will go for spooling. So spooling is nothing but we have CPU here. CPU is nothing but what? Central processing unit, and we have main memory. So one thing is, everything every process should be in main memory in order to execute. Process cannot execute from the secondary memory, that is nothing but your disk. Okay, secondary memory, it should be in main memory in order to execute the program. And here we have input device, output devices. So see here, While the CPU is executing one job, this input device will keep on writing to the secondary device. Okay, data will be stored in secondary device. When this complete the job, okay, when it completes its execution, when CPU completes its execution, it sends the data to the main memory. Through main memory, it will be stored in hard disk. Okay, so input device will keep on writing data to the secondary device. When CPU become available, this data will bring back to the main memory from the secondary memory and it start executing. So this way CPU will be always busy. This is how we can overcome this disadvantage. Okay, thank you.